Hello everyone, I'm Sarah of Rich Textures Crochet and welcome. Today we're going to learn how to make these adorable sunflower earrings. Now these earrings are fairly quick to work. They're fairly simple, but they do require using a small amount of embroidery floss, which is quite thin to crochet with. So for our earrings today, we're going to be using, as I mentioned, some embroidery floss. You're going to need 2 colors and a small amount of each. Each of my skeins have 8.7 yards, and you're not going to need all of that for your set of earrings, but you're just going to need a little bit. You're also going to need some earring clasps. These are the stainless steel, they're 9mm earring fish hooks, and these are what we're going to attach our sunflowers to today. You're also going to want a 2.5mm crochet hook, which is one of those teeny tiny ones, and then of course a copy of the free written instructions, which are on my website at richtexturescrochet.com. You'll find a direct link to that down in the description of this video. So thank you so much for joining me. While you're here, I invite you to subscribe, take a look around, and say hello down in the comments. This channel is updated every single week with free crochet patterns and stitch tutorials. Now our pattern today is worked in rounds, and we're working at the center of our flower and working our way out. Now I was finding the brown a little bit hard to see when it was here up here on the video, so we're going to switch up our colors a little bit, and we're going to work in this yellow thread for our center, and then we're going to use the blue for the petals in our sunflower today. In my originals I've used a brown for the center and then just a yellow for the petals. What we're going to do is we're going to start off by either working a magic ring or by making a slip knot and chaining 2. It's up to you as far as how you would like to start it. I'm going to start with the magic ring. It will give me a little bit of a tighter center for the flower. To make my magic ring, there's lots of different ways to make it. All I do is I take my piece of yarn or thread, kind of fold it over, cross it, and then as though I was going to make a slip knot, I just grab my working yarn through the center and kind of loop it over my hook. Then as I'm working, I can use the tail to pull it tight, and I just kind of grab a hold of it with my ring finger and my thumb, grab a hold of the loop so that it doesn't pull through on this first round. You're ready to continue then for round 1. You're going to start by chaining 1. Then into the center of your ring, or if you've chained 2 into that first chain, you're going to work 10 single crochet stitches. So you're just working them into the center of either that second chain from your hook or into the center of your magic ring. Once you've worked your 10 single crochet stitches into your ring, you can draw it closed and then join with a slip stitch into the top of the first stitch. Now for round 2, you're going to chain 1 and working over top of the stitches just worked in round 1, you're going to once again work 10 single crochet stitches into the center of your ring. So working over top of the stitches just worked, work 10 single crochet stitches into the ring. When you come all the way around, you're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch, and you can then take your scissors and fasten off. That brings you to the end of round 2, and you're all ready to start working the petals. Now for round 3, you're going to take your color B and you're going to join it with a slip stitch into any stitch. I'm going to join it into the same stitch that I joined to finish off my work in. Just join your yarn. For round 3, you're going to start by chaining 3 and then into the same stitch you're going to work a triple stitch. So back into the same stitches joining, work 1 triple stitch. You're then going to chain 3 and slip stitch back into the same stitch. Next, slip stitch into the next stitch of your flower center. And you're going to repeat chain 3, triple into the same stitch, and chain 3, and join with a slip stitch back down into the same stitch. Slip stitch into your next stitch, and repeat chain 3, triple stitch into the same stitch, chain 3, and slip stitch back down into the same stitch. Slip stitch into your next stitch. You're going to continue repeating those steps all the way around until you have 10 petals in your sunflower. And you will be back at your first stitch. Once you come all the way around and have worked 10 petals, you're going to finish off by working a slip stitch into that final or into that first stitch, and you're then going to fasten off. You're then going to go ahead and weave in any ends. And then there are multiple ways to attach your earring, and partly it will depend on what style you'd like. But for mine, all I did was I took that tail, thread it through a thin yarn needle, and then thread it carefully up through the side and into the center of the closest flower petal. I then took the yarn and making sure that the hook was facing the back, you're going to thread it through and then secure it. You're then simply going to tuck in your end, fasten off. That is your little sunflower earring. Such a fun little craft to make. That'd make great gifts or are fun to show off your creativity to your family and friends if you wear them around yourself. That's all there is to working the sunflower earring. Thank you so much for joining me. If you happen to make these and share them on social media, do be sure to tag Rich Textures Crochet. I always love to come by and admire your work. Until next time, enjoy and happy crocheting. Bye.